What's going on, YouTubers? It's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to National Wrestling Alliance Review, the show from December 14th, 2019. And this review will be presented for pertains to giving you the NWA Into the Fire 2019 results. They were at Atlanta, Georgia, at the GPB studios, and your commentators were Joe Galley, excuse me, Joe Galley, and Stu Bennett. Stu Bennett, formerly known as Wade Barrett from the WWE. And all I gotta say is, when it pertains to Stu Bennett on commentary, he was great. With him commentating on the show, it I got the feeling what it pertains to him doing on commentary with Joe Galley, it did not make me miss Jim Cornette's commentary at all. Not saying that he should be part of it. Not saying that he he deserved to to leave you know NWA because of that controversy comment that he made during that match between Nick Aldis and Trevor Murdoch during that time. But um, but hey, now we obviously there's a blame um to someone in NWA for that reason of why that happened with Jim Cornette. But that's not here over there. The point is, it did not make me miss Jim Cornette, even though I do miss Jim Cornette on NWA. But hey, Stu Bennett is the replacement, or that's we're gonna stick with it. And Joe Galley and Stu Bennett on commentary, great. That was great teamwork there. With him being Stu Bennett being a color commentator, and Stu and also with Joe Galley being the play-by-play commentator. And then also you have David Marquez there, not only being the interviewer but a ring announcer for this show. And he always been on the ring announcer too, by the way. Just let you all know that too. So yeah, this is a peer review for NWA called Into the Fire, and let's get right into it. The show opened up with Stu Bennett being the narrator to open up the peer review of NWA Into the Fire, and we see the inside the venue. Now, I knew coming into the show that there's going to be at the GPB studios, but at least do a different atmosphere of the pay per view. They make us feel like this is a different show from NWA Power. After watching the ring, the stage, basically the whole set, it remains the same. It's the same colors and all that. And they may try to uh to make it look like a review show called Into the Fire. Instead, it was just like a regular NWA show, except it's it ran about 2.5 hours long, if I recall. But yeah, basically, it felt like I was just watching a regular NWA Power, because they didn't try to to decorate the ring, to make it look like a theme atmosphere of Into the Fire. You know, that color, the ropes, all that, the turnbuckle, the inside the ring, the skirt of the ring, or and especially when it comes to the to to the where David Marquez be at at the podium, um where, well, I won't call it a podium, but still, but no, it's kind of a podium where it pertains to the wrestlers all being interviewed and all that, and the commentary table and all that, the desk and everything. I wish it would have been more of a Into the Fire feel, into like more of a pay-per-view feel, instead of a regular show that you maybe see on YouTube and Facebook. So that's my nitpick of that, though. So that's, but anyways, let's get right to the show here, though. The opening match was Eli Drake defeating Mr. Anderson, 9 minutes and 16 seconds match. Itself with a chance to the opener, it was decent. Um, in the end, like I said, Eli Drake won the match, and Eli Drake was performing very good in the match. So, Mr. Kennedy, he's look like he's out of shape, with his gut and everything. I wish he would go back, into top ship shape like he was back in 2005. But this is the Mr. Kennedy we got right now. I mean, Mr. Anderson that we got right now. Yeah, we'll get to more of Electric later on, because up next we get to Thunder Rosa defeating Tasha Steelz making her NWA debut. Tasha Steelz is Puerto Rican. She is a Latina chick. Well, in a way, she's calling herself Latina Heat. But Don Rosa, like I said, she defeated Tasha Steelz in 4 minutes and 15 seconds. It was basically like a squash in a way because Thunder Rosa basically was kicking her ass. Uh, Tasha did get some offense, but at the end of the day, Thunder Rosa was a better dominant in the match there. But before the match, by the way, Tasha was asking David Marquez to come on closer to her at ringside so that she could be interviewed. And she's excited to be there, and she's showing her personality, what she's all about, and she's like, Into the Fire is a good um fitting because she's going to bring the Latina heat, that. And that's not how we saw Morbius going up against Thunder Rosa. If anyone saw Latina heat there, it was Thunder Rosa because Thunder Rosa is Latina as well. So after the match, with Thunder Rosa won. Thunder Rosa adding insult to injury to Tasha. Also, Ashley Fox comes out. She's supposed to be the tag team partner for Allison Kay for later on. We'll get that momentarily. Thunder Rosa get the better of her, starts bending her elbow, looking like not for real though, but basically they're trying to make it look like her elbow was bent, where she's not going to be able to compete. Molina and Marty Bell alongside with Allison Kay in a tag team match, but we'll get to that later. So we'll find out who is a better replacement. Then we get to the question mark, and he's being accompanied by Aaron Stevens. Aaron Stevens was kind of promo. I don't remember what the promo was. I didn't care for the promo at all. But they had a flag for the question mark. And I think the question mark was singing his national anthem, whatever. I don't know. It was whatever. But the question mark defeated Trevor Murdoch in 5 minutes and 55 seconds in a old school style type of match, like I expected it would be, like I said in the pre-show. Pre-show. By the way, those are pre-show this one, by the way. But what I meant to say was the preview that I did for NWA Into The Fire 2019. So yeah, I expected it all to be old school type of feel, and it was. So in the end, like I said, like the rest, the question mark won the match. It was the right call there. Trevor Murdoch, he'll get there. He's back in the wrestling business, and it's good for things part of NWA. So he still have a long way to go for the fans to get back again. So, but as of right now, the question they got beyond the question mark. The question mark for some reason is over. So there you go. Then we get to the Rock and Roll Express. Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, the NWA World Tag Team Champions, being accompanied by Eddie Kingston and Homicide, the Outlaw Inc. And they defeated the Wild Cards, which is Royce Isaac and Thomas Lederer. They were being accompanied by Dave Dawson and Zane Dawson, the Dawsons. Match lasted 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Match itself, it was decent too. You had some outside involvements of the Outlaws and the Dawsons. Also, in the end, the Rock and Roll Express, they won. Like I already said before, that was surprising. I didn't expect them to win. I did not expect them to retain. I was expecting for them to drop the belts right back to the Wild Cards, since the Rock and Roll Express already had their moments. But they end up having their moments here. Once again, the Cinderella story continues on with with them being past their prime. Speaking of which, Ricky Morton, my God, the way he moved in that ring, the suicide dive and the Canadian Destroyer, which I'm calling it the Rock and Roll Destroyer, the Rock and Roll, pretty amazing. It's only Ricky Morton doing stuff, not Robert Gibson. So, but in a way, Rock and Roll Express, they're still the independent then we get to the women's tag team match. Allison Kay, the NWA Women's World Champion, teaming up with someone who plays against Molina and Marty Bell in a tag team match that lasted 7 minutes and 25 seconds. And there was none other than ODB. Bam! So, Molina, she looked like she lost a step. And it's unfortunate. Marty Bell, no hope for her either because Marty Bell is still to me green, still to me she's not that season. She's got that seasoning of being a good in-ring worker because she's known botching some moves, and this was no different. Alison K and ODB were fine. But like I said, Alison K and ODB they defeated Molina and Marty Bell. I should remember if I mentioned that. Not I think about it, but anyways. So there you go. That was that match. To me, that was one of the weakest match on the show. So, and I believe it was not trying to remember. It was I think it was either before the match or after the match. In fact, let me double check here. And it's very important for me to mention this. Just give me one moment. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me see. Okay, so it was before the match. So David Marquez was interviewing Eli Drake, pertains to Eli Drake insulting Dave Marquez, whatever, for whatever reason. And they start talking about Nick Aldis, and he talks about James Storm because now he got Mr. Kennedy out of the way, Mr. Anderson, excuse me. Because it doesn't matter who wins between James Storm and Nick Aldis. He's going to get the opportunity of becoming the NWA World Champion. And he talks about where Mr. Anderson was he kept bringing up Mr. Anderson again, and he was going to go promo until all of a sudden Mr. Anderson attacks him, beats him up, wraps a chair around his neck into the post, brings him into the ring, gets his chair around his neck. Oh, well, actually, he was going. I think he was going to at one point, but then he decided to go for the mic check onto the chair where it was in a seated position in a way. So basically, the feud is going to continue on with Mr. Anderson and Eli Drake. And by the way, now is a double turn. Eli Drake is now back to being a baby face, and Mr. Anderson is going to be is a heel. And yeah, I wish I say Eli Drake is back to being a babyface because he was a babyface when NWA Power for first debut. So, so there you go. And then we get to the next match. Because I need to get that out of the way. So, hold on a second. Before I do, I think there was something else mentioned after the match too. It was either after the match of the women's tag match, or it was before or the national championship match. Let me just double check here before I move on. But I'm going to mention right now, folks. So, they announced. Well, there's two things to announce. They announced that NWA is going to do another pay-per-view on January 24th. I'm assuming, and they didn't confirm it on the show later on that it's going to be called NWA Hard Times. Good. And what pertains to another announcement, and they showed it on here. With Stu Bennett. I'm assuming he showed it on his tablet, or they showed it when they give it to him, for everyone to see. And they're re-debuting NWA. They're re-debuting the NWA World Television Championship, and this is how it looks. Now I don't know if the picture is showing. Hopefully it does show, but there it is right there. The original NWA World Television Championship, the same design like it was back in the day, with the side plates that says ABC and CBS. And I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, so are they gonna have a TV deal pretty soon on NBC and CBS? In 2020. Well, for their sake, I hope they do. But at the same time, I still want their shows to be on YouTube and Facebook. So for those who don't watch TV anyways. But yeah, hey, if that's the case, if they are going to have those two plates of ABC and CBS on there, then hell, they need that TV deal. And the best TV deal for NWA, to really do bring back the old school of wrestling, is to go back to that station, that network of ABC and CBS. I think it'll be a good way for them to do NWA Power. So there you go. But yeah, hopefully I can see that, by the way, folks. Just to me, taking the camera off for me. But now about to put the camera right back. They're bringing back the secondary championship title, because for a while there, the NWA National Heavyweight Championship was being the secondary championship. So now that's no longer the case, because now the NWA World Championship title is now being the secondary championship title, back to where it belongs, to be a secondary championship title. Uh, for NWA National Wrestling Alliance. All right. Hopefully I did see that. So hopefully I can see me too, by the way. Hopefully the even though it's recording, but hopefully on the internet, my service data is good. But anyways, let's get to the next match. Next match feature for the NWA National Heavyweight Championship. It happened in a three-way match. Lasted 12 minutes and 20 seconds. You have Aaron Stevens being accompanied by the question mark. And you also had the champion, Colt Boom Cabana, also versus Ricky Starks. Match itself was pretty good. I thought this was the match of the night, in my opinion. And in the end, it was, and Aaron Stevens didn't do much in the match though, with him being the heel and everything. But he still did some stuff in the match too. But but twice in the match he was basically did not in the match, which was funny the way they did it too, and the whole camera shot and everything. In the end, Aaron Stevens gets the win. Now, I don't remember who he pinned. I'm pretty sure he probably pinned Ricky Starks to become the new NWA National Heavyweight Champion. So yeah, Aaron Stevens is now the champion of NWA, represents to go being the National Heavyweight Champion. And yeah, and the fans were not happy about that. But they did the whole thing where Aaron Stevens is doing doing this, and then the crowd are going boo, and then when the question mark does his pose, doing this. How he does like this, and then they go, yeah, that whole thing. And now it's the main event. But before I do, I forgot to mention this part, because after the match, after the first opening match with Eli Drake and Mr. Anderson, I forgot to mention this. David Marquez called out the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis to come out to the club promo, and he did. Where we tested the main event match against James Storm, and then James Storm came out. And he started clear promo to Nick Aldis. We're on. And I thought it was a good promo from both parts. But who had the better promo? James Storm, because he was more fired up. So let me get to this next the main event. A big package of it though, and the only video package they tried their best to the rest of the video package wasn't much of a video package. It was more like a recap of what happened of these events between these lineups for the Carl Into The Fire. But this one, they took a lot of effort, a lot of editing for this on this main event match to mean something. The 2 or 3 championship between the Buffalo versus the Cowboy James Storm. So the first referee of the match was Abraham, chosen by James Storm. I guess for a good 3 to 4 minutes, maybe. All of a sudden, Camille comes out. Nick Aldis is oblivious of this. It's also to leave. Also, James Storm out of nowhere. The last call super kick. 1, 2, 3. Whoa, really? So then the second fall, chosen by Nick Aldis, represents the special guest referee, Tim Storm. He referees the match, and this match ends up being long. And James Storm was taking advantage of Nick Aldis, of him being a weekend after the last call super kick, and it being called garbage because of Camille's distraction. But in the end, it was Nick Aldis getting the second fall in the match here, and then all of a sudden a coin toss happens from the air referee. I forgot his name, but he also was referee back then with WWE. This black referee who is a competent referee, unlike the incompetent referee that we got right now in WWE right now. But anyways, but he does a coin toss, and it's basically a coin toss which has 2 heads. It's going to be Brian Hitler, or tails. It's going to be Tim Storm. And I say myself, wait a minute. So I thought it's going to be a referee's choice to when it takes or wants a coin flip James Storm and Nick Aldis. I thought it's going to be that whole situation where they well, actually not referee's choice. What I meant to say was it was going to be the winner between Nick Aldis and James Storm would be changed to their coin toss, which is also going to pick a referee for the third fall. But it was just going to be the same two referees. So it was either going to be heads for Brian Hebner or tails for Tim Storm. So the referee flips a coin, catches it, does that, and it reveals to be heads. Brian Hebner is the referee. So the third fall was coming to conclusion, and it was good. And the fans were into it. The commenters were into it. Uh, I was into it. People. I'm pretty sure everyone at home watching this pay per view was into it as well. Um, and then in the end, oh yeah, Brian Hitler got taken out. So Tim Storm checking out the referee sees okay. So he ends up taking the place of Brian Hitler. It's supposed to be Brian Hitler. So Tim Storm ends up being the replacement because Brian Hitler was knocked out. It was referee bump caused by Nick Aldis, which was it wasn't intention. It wasn't it was intentional. It was intentional. But I mean, um, basically it was an accident. So so how did this match came about? James Storm was getting ready to take care of Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis was at the corner. He was holding the turnbuckle. All of a sudden, James Storm gets him. The turnbuckle rips off, and then all of a sudden, James Storm with a cover on him. Nick Aldis kicks out. With his force and strength, pushing James Storm to the exposed turnbuckle. And at this point, Nick Aldis goes for a submission, and James Storm couldn't respond. Tim Storm raised the bell. Your winner, still, your NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, Nick Aldis. What a oh man, what a match that was. This was a show stealer in the way. So all of a sudden, Nick Aldis is being interviewed by David Marquez to reach the end of the show. He's like, he's the real world's champion and all that. And then he said, "There's not a man alive that can beat him, that can take the belt from him." All of a sudden, the lights goes out. We hear a familiar music. He comes out, and obviously, I already know who it was after hearing that music, and it's the villain, Marty Scrull. He gets in the ring. Nick Aldis meets him in the ring. They stand face to face. The last time these two met each other was back at NWA Crockett Cup, which was this past year, and here we are again with this. So yeah, we're gonna see a rematch between Nick Aldis versus Marty Scurll for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, and it's gonna happen. I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen at NWA Hard Times. And that was it. That was the end of the show. By the way, we're playing some music. By the way, the music doesn't usually play for NWA. We're just to the wrestler's entrance for we're just NWA Power. But because it's a pay per view, it's a special occasion. So everyone's music was playing during that their entrance for NWA Into the Fire pay per view. So, but once we get back to NWA Power, not anymore. Not until we get to Hard Times pay per view. So there you go. And that was the show. Before I go, I gotta do one thing, folks. So excuse me for one moment, okay? Okay, I'm back, folks. My apologies for that. Now, let's get to my Into the Fire highlights for the show. I had to get my stuff to just remind myself. Okay, so Swerve of the Night, but to go to ODB. Now, Swerve of the Night would have been Tamari Skrull, but unfortunately, I was already spoiled. So Basically, I kind of spoiled myself for knowing who was there, and March Scrull was the one that I forgot that who was there. So ODB was to me was a swerve in the night there because I had no idea ODB was there. So and after that I didn't know ODB was there too. So ODB is goes gets the swerve of the night there. Again, if I would never know March Scrull wasn't there, I mean if I haven't known that March Scrull was there, he would have been swerving. He would have gotten the position of being swerved in the night here. Promo of the night, but to go to Tasha Steeles because with her being excited and her her with that showing her personality and everything, and then the whole Latina heat that Latina heat got to me there. So she showed some good passion, some good um pr- pride and proud and powerful promo there. So view package of the night, unfortunately, there was only one view package that was done on right, and that was the NWA World Championship title match between James Storm and the champion Nick Aldis. Moment of the night, Delman introducing the returning of the NWA World Television Championship. Entrance of the night, we had to go to Ricky Starks because of his vest and the way and just the way he looks too. He reminds me of someone that you see with just the old school movies like The Warriors. That's what he reminds me of. So I'm giving him an entrance of the night there. Moving the night, we had to go to Ricky Morton's Rock and Roll Destroyer, aka the Canadian Destroyer. Finish of the night will be James Storm's last call super kick, where it takes the first fall. Performance of the night, we had to go to Eli Drake. In fact, let's go with performances of the night. Eli Drake and Ricky Morton. There you go. Show steal of the night, we had to go to the 2-out-3 falls match for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And finally, match of the night, we had to go to the NWA National Heavyweight Championship match, which is the three-way between the former champion, Colt Cabana, Ricky Starks, and the new champion, Aaron Stevens. And my overall score for the show for NWA Into the Fire for this National Wrestling Alliance review, I'm going to go with a 9.5 out of 10. And that being said, yeah, basically it was a 2 thumbs up show. Great show. And there you go. That being said, thank you all for watching for It's Natural Born Thriller, or should I say, the Natural Born Alliance. Saying peace on the streets. So this was your NWA Into the Fire 2019 review, where it pertains to pertains to National Wrestling Alliance review. And that being said, folks, I'm out. So you all take care.